KP classes dedicated to excellence.
Hello students, today we are going to cover a very important topic, that is how to improve your vocabulary. Okay, if you want to really, if you're really seriously preparing for any of the competitive examination, I request you to watch this video till the end if you want to make the most out of it. If you really want to get benefited from it, watch the video till the end. Okay, this is my request. This is my request, of course. And second thing is, if you learn the tricks and tips of improving your vocabulary, my dear, it would not definitely, if you're not a good reader, if you're not a reader at all, you cannot improve your vocabulary overnight. Okay, you have to take baby steps. And how to take baby steps, that we are going to teach you today. Those tricks, those tips we are going to teach you today. Okay, definitely, like always we do, it would be followed by one exercise of synonyms, right? So let us come to see, words. How many words are there? Nobody knows. Because every day, you know, a new word is coined, a new term is coined. When we were young, when we were in kindergarten, we never heard of Google. Now Google is there. Now Google is on the tip of tongue of everyone. People are using it as noun as well as verb. This is a beautiful feature of English language. You know, verbs and nouns, most of them, they are interchangeable by nature, in nature, right? So words. And English being a very generous language, any Tom, Dick and Harry, any person can coin a word. And if it becomes very popular, of course, who makes it popular? Definitely the print media makes the word popular, and of course the social media, it makes the word popular. If the word becomes popular, of course, it gains entry, it gets the entry in the what? In the dictionary or on Google. You can Google the meaning of the word, right? So words, but what happens? Usually I've seen that people, they try to learn the word meaning to improve their, you know, vocabulary, to add words to the vocabulary, whatever vocabulary they have. They might be having very basic vocabulary, but to add words to it, they learn word meanings, my dear. That is, I would say, an incorrect way, incorrect method of improving your vocabulary. What? Let's take example of, since Hindi is my mother tongue, I would take example of Hindi newspaper. And I would ask you, people, of course, who read Hindi newspapers, how many of you have Shabdkosh? This is the Hindi for dictionary, Shabdkosh, at your places. And you look up the Shabdkosh to find the meaning of a particular word. Nobody does that. Nobody does that. Okay, I haven't done all my life. Neither had my father. God bless his soul, is no more. Neither had my father. Okay, and I haven't seen anyone reading in the newspaper, of course, googling the Hindi meaning of a particular word. Why? Because there the word is given in a context. There the word is given in a sentence. When you read a word along a sentence, along with a sentence, or in a sentence, or in a context for that matter, you know, the meaning becomes clear. Please, while reading the newspaper or reading a novel or reading any other thing, kindly don't keep your mobile next to you. Don't check the meaning. If something is here, if something remains here, if you have this notion that maybe I was not correct when I thought about the meaning of the word, then check yourself. You will find that 99% time you were able to get out the correct meaning of the word, because you were reading the word in a context. Okay? Now, one more thing. Has many types of vocabulary? Nobody must have told you earlier, but let me tell you this. A person who has studied English at least till class 12th standard, okay, has 3 types of vocabulary. One is reading. The second is writing. The third one is speaking. What I call speaking vocabulary or functional vocabulary. This is the basic vocabulary. And this is only 2,500 words. If you have 2,500 words on the tip of your tongue and you're using it while talking to somebody, my dear, your basic and your functional vocabulary is good. Right? But if you're preparing for competitive examination, there is no escape. Your reading vocabulary, your writing vocabulary, as well as your speaking vocabulary, all these 3 vocabulary should be very good. Okay. Now, what is reading vocabulary? Again, reading vocabulary when you're reading a word in a sentence or in a given context. It is near about 25,000 to 30,000 words. Right? Okay. But again, you won't have to mug it up because it will be given in a context. Right? Writing vocabulary, extra words. Sometimes we use extra words. 5,000. Make it this. 5,000 to 10,000 words. And speaking vocabulary is the easiest one, or having the minimum number of words, only 2. I would say minimum, of course, that's because there are n number of words, so many words. Just try picking up a dictionary. These days people just open them, or click a button, open the mobile and Google the meaning. But when we were in school, in our school days, when we had to find the meaning, we had to open the dictionary. I remember my Webster dictionary. It was very, very heavy to carry. The Oxford, not the abridged version, the real version, the expanded version. It was quite heavy because so many words were there. Every year, new words are added. Every year, new words are added. Right? So you have to work on these. And my dear, if your vocabulary is good, not only will you be able to solve antonyms and synonyms questions based on antonyms and synonyms, you would be very comfortable in solving the questions of sentence completion as well. Because sometimes the options are, of course, from grammar, but most of the time the options are from vocabulary part. Okay, so that was about reading, writing and speaking vocabulary. So these three things you have to keep in your mind. Now, anyone can improve their vocabulary anytime, anywhere with a lot of fun. Okay, read vocabulary books. Read books based on vocabulary. And in one of my videos, I told you, please go through at least these 4 things that are really going to be very helpful as far as reading books based on vocabulary is concerned. One is, for the basic vocabulary, there is one book, Brush Up Your English. Don't think I'm promoting this author, okay? But it is one of my favorite books as far as vocabulary is concerned, okay? Basic vocabulary is concerned. Not even basic, you can say. Written vocabulary also is concerned. But don't read grammar through this book, because grammar is also given. Read vocabulary through this book to improve your functional vocabulary. Okay, brush up. You can order this. This is easily available on Flipkart and Amazon. Okay, or you can get it from market also. Okay. Second book is English is Easy. I love this book. Why? There is a reason. Because the examples here, English is easy, because there is a section, World of Words, where every word is given in contextual paragraphs or contextual examples, contextual sentence, in a context, in a sentence, okay? So it makes it very easy to remember the meaning of the word. So English is Easy actually is by the author S.T. Imam, the first one. The second one is by the author Chetnanand Singh. Okay? And if you want to be the guru, my goodness, guru is not a Hindi word anymore. It is there in English dictionary. It has got entry into the English dictionary, right? So if you really want to be the guru, go for the guru, the book written by the guru of all, that is Word Power Made Easy. Who is the author? Norman Lewis. Various exercises are there, practice exercises are there in this book, and various suffixes, roots and prefixes, various interesting stories, are there, how this word actually came into existence, and how it got an entry in the English dictionary. Okay, maximum words actually in English dictionary you would find in English language have Greek and Latin origin. But apart from having Greek and Latin origin, they ruled the world. There was a time they ruled almost most of the parts of the world. So they have taken words from all the, you can say all the languages. They have French words, okay? They have Japanese words. They have Hindi words. Because in Hindi, there are certain words which cannot be translated into English. Okay? It cannot be substituted by any English word cannot do complete justice to the the meaning of that particular Hindi word. Take the example of nirvana. Nirvana is nirvana. Salvation is different. Salvation is different. Nirvana is getting moksha, getting a kind of freedom from the cycle of lives that we have. That is nirvana. The salvation definitely would not do justice to nirvana, and the English people knew this, so they took the word as such in the dictionary. Chutney is there. You must be aware of What do the Mexicans have? They have salsa? Okay. The consistency of salsa and the consistency of chutney is different. So the word chutney is there. When they came to India, they saw that here to beat a person, of course, the king's soldiers or the people who were there to give punishment to the culprits and all, they use lathis. There was nothing like latte in England. Okay, so yeah, they use the word as such. So even if today if you read the newspaper, you will find lathi charge. Okay, take the example of the word dharna. That is a difference versus strike. In foreign nations, of course, if a company, if the workers go on a strike, of course, to show their objection towards a particular policy, or you can say a particular rule, they don't stop working. They just put a black badge or black something, or the work keeps on, like they keep on doing their work. And sometimes they also stop the work, but nothing like everything is shut down and everyone goes on a kind of a fast. Everyone is sitting outside the company office, you can say, or the factory. That is dharna. So they saw dharna kind of thing in India, so they took the word as such. The English people were aware of two words, like they were aware of thieves, they were aware of pirates. There's a lovely movie also, Pirates of Caribbean. Yes, Caribbean. Okay, Pirates of Caribbean. Thief. They were aware of pirates and they were aware of thief. In pirates, the Hindi of pirates is Jaldasyu. These people, they rob the ships and the ferries. Okay? And of course the cargo ships also. They rob them. And rob people, of course, who are all going on a cruise. Okay? And they were aware of thieves. But when they came to India, they saw a different category of these people. They saw somebody known as dacoit in Hindi. Okay? The dacoit, they had a very funny way. They wrote letters to the head of a particular village. This particular day, my gang is going to come and attack you people and rob you people. And they sat in apprehension, of course. They did nothing. They didn't inform anyone. Okay? They did not even raise a voice against them. Chambal was very famous for dacoits. Right? So they saw dacoits. Now English, being English, of course, they made certain changes in the spelling of the word and they made it dacoit. Lots and lots of things are there. Karma is there, nirvana is there, juggernaut is there, lots of words there. Even deco, one fine day I was reading something somewhere. I came across a word written in italics, deco. It is nothing but deco. I went to the exhibition not to buy anything. I had no notion of buying anything. I went there just for a deco. Got it? This is how the social media, if it makes the word, popular, the print media, if it makes the word popular, it will get entry in the dictionary. You can Google it. Google, you'll find the word. It's there. Clear? Okay. Apart from the books that I mentioned, kindly don't forget to read the newspaper. Be a consistent reader. Read the newspaper every day. And if you're not in the habit of reading newspaper every day, I would suggest you at least to start with Sunday Times, because Sunday Times is very colorful. It's very colorful. You can read the interviews, anything of your choice. Anything of your choice. This is the first step. Okay? Where of course you find English easy. What are the columns where you find, what are the pages where you find the English is easy? Where you find English is quite easy. You can go through the page 3 parties. You can go through the interviews of some celebrities. You can read the sports column. Actually, in sports column, the English is very, very simple. They use simple words. You can go for the headlines also. Read the headlines. If not the complete news, if not the full news, you can simply read the headlines. Okay. Don't forget, and kindly don't run away if you see a big word. You know, let me share one secret with you. The bigger the word, the easier it is to find its meaning, to arrive to its meaning. The smaller the word, the toughest it is to arrive to its meaning, because you won't be able to make out the root there, to find out the root there. I'll clarify it. I'll come to it later. Okay. Last but not the least, later on, please also read editorials. Okay. You must be aware also, it is going to help you in with different section also. If you have got GK or general, you can say GK paper, or wherever general awareness is asked, it is definitely going to help you a lot, because you would be aware what is happening all around you in the world and perspective of different people. It is definitely going to help you in RCs also, right? So read the editorial. Start with Times of India. I never ask my student to start with the Hindu, because Hindu, the language is a bit tough. Okay, if you're preparing for IS examination or other examination, or just like IS or other examination of that particular standard, I would say that go for the Hindu. But for other competitive examination, start with the Times of India. If you're not interested, if you're not a consistent reader, you're just a beginner, okay, start with the Times of India. Start with your favorite column gradually and broaden your you can say broaden your area of interest. Broaden your area of interest. Don't only read the interviews. Someday read something else. The other day read something else. Okay? Editorials. Then you should also consider one more wonderful newspaper, that is the the Hindu is also there, and Indian Express. So that was reading vocabulary books. Okay. Now read outside your preferred genre. It is not genre. Okay. It is genre. It is not genre. It is genre. Okay. And music, we have genre. Okay. You people listen to, you youngsters listen to a lot of English music, but are you aware of the genres? Let me tell you about some genres, because I also listen to a lot to English as well as Hindi music, as well as other regional music. Whatever sounds, nice to my ears, I listen to it. Okay. See, if we talk about English music here, I'm talking about music here, see, various genres, just to clarify the meaning of genres to you. Okay. We have got jazz. We have got blues. We have got hip hop. We have got one more thing. We have got pop music, or pop actually is the short form of popular music, that is pop music. Okay. Then we have rhythm and blues. Right? These are some of the genres, not all. Similarly, in English, of course, various genres are there. Some people, they read fictions. And in fictions also, fictions can be also divided into, I'm not going to write all the categories because it's going to take a lot of time. Some people read, romantic novels, romance or romantic novels. Some people, they read horror, based on horror. Some people, they read sci-fi, scientific fictions, right? Okay. Some people, they read other things also, which are of course fictions. In fiction, nothing is real, everything is imagination, right? Another genre can be non-fiction books. Fictions. Okay? You can read non-fiction books. You can read self-help book also self-help. How to improve yourself. These books are becoming very popular these days, especially after COVID. Everyone is making videos on how to improve oneself. Okay? And that's not a bad thing. That is a good thing. We should always introspect and try to be a better person every day. Though it's not easy. It's quite tough. Because change is the toughest thing in the world, We resist change, any kind of change. Even change in ourselves, we resist it. Okay? So these are the things. So read outside your preferred genre. I would like to share one anecdote with you. I was watching my something on social media one day, and I came across a clip in which Shashi Tharoor, I guess everyone knows about Shashi Tharoor. He is, as far as English vocabulary is concerned, that person is, I really salute that, kudos to him. I really praise him because his vocabulary is top notch. Okay, he also coins new words. He also makes new words on his own. Okay, somebody from Kerala, a student from one of the schools from Kerala, asked him, Mr. Tharoor, what should I do to improve my vocabulary? He said, my dear, I can only share one thing with you. When we were kids, actually, there was no source of entertainment. There was no TV. Okay, radio was there, but there was no TV. So I used to read, and I read a lot. And it depends on family involvement also. Everyone is reading, but he himself, he was very much interested in reading. I read and I read a lot. So if I came across a word in a particular book, that word was used, of course, in a different context, and it had a different meaning. And if I read the same word in a different book, of course, in a different context, it had an entirely different meaning. That means English words can have more than one meanings. So that is why you have to be very, very careful if you are learning if you are improving your vocabulary. You have to really be you have to be a consistent reader. And before sleeping, just do a mental revision of 10 words that you learned that particular day. Learn, just mentally revise. There is no need to open the book. Everything is here. Because when you are about to sleep, your subconscious mind, takes over the control. So whatever is there in subconscious, you will never forget it. You will never forget it. Clear? Okay. Use context clues. Use context, like I mentioned earlier. Let's take the example of a newspaper. I'm not going to write it down for you, just listen to me very carefully. I'm taking the example of Jaya Bachchan. She was a superstar when she married Amitabh Bachchan. And she helped him a lot in getting movies. He played second lead in the very beginning of his career. He played second lead. In those movies, in most of the movies, Rajesh Khanna was actually the main protagonist, of course. You can say the protagonist or the hero. And he played the second lead. Take the example of the movie. I don't know whether most of you, the Hindi movie watchers, I can say that, or the viewers, I can say that, must have seen the movie Anand. Of course, he played the second lead there. He acted very well, of course, but he was not getting movies on his own. It was Jaya Bachchan who was putting her heart and soul into getting movies for him. When nobody was ready to get signed Janjeer, it was Jaya Bachchan who persuaded the director and the producer to sign Amitabh Bachchan, to make Amitabh Bachchan sign that movie, to go to Amitabh Bachchan to make him sign that particular movie. And after that, rest is history. So Jaya Bachchan, she married Amitabh Bachchan at that particular point, and she was at the acme of her career. She was at the acme of her career. Guess the meaning of the acme here. Acme means what? Peak. She was at the peak of her career. Right? Is it clear? Okay. So in this way, you can find out meanings of very different words. Read the words in different contexts. See, people are not foolish when you are in schools. I don't know why teachers these days have stopped doing this thing. But in many schools, of course, in good schools, I have seen teachers, they ask the students to do one particular exercise, that use the given words in your own sentences. At least we were asked to do. We were really forced to do it as homework in our own sentence, not from the particular chapter that we were reading. We were not supposed to just copy paste it. Right? We are supposed to use the word in our own words, be it Hindi literature or English literature. Now I realize that is a wonderful way, that was a wonderful way of teaching vocabulary through what? Through context clues or through contextual examples. Is it clear? Okay. Now learn about root words. We'll come to this later. Root word example is there. Let me come to this one first. Practice word association. Let me come to this one first. Practice word association. Try to associate one word with something that automatically takes you to that particular word or that particular thing that you were actually looking for, that actually you wanted. So this is actually practice word associate, the meaning of the word. Practice word, meaning of what you are supposed to do in practice word association. There is one more trick. Mnemonic. Mnemonic skills. You can say that either skills or aid. Okay. You are gifted with, we all human beings are gifted with wonderful visualizing power. If I ask you to close your eyes and think of a dog, definitely there would be a picture of dog here. Again I say, now open your eyes and close your eyes again and don't think of a dog. Now see, I've changed my sentence. Don't think of a dog, but again the picture would be of a dog, not a donkey. That means you visualize maximum words. And where visualization is not possible, of course, there are many abstract words where visualization is not possible. Use them in context and get the meaning out of it. Clear? So this is what you do in mnemonic. Mnemonic aid. A word, of course, it is a kind of tool gifted to you by God. You visualize and you relate it to a particular person. And you visualize that particular person, of course, and you can write the meaning of that particular word. For example, like simple word association. For simple word association, I'll take one example of there is a procedure, of course, followed by doctors, right? Simple word association, there is a procedure. I'm taking example of one word, of course. It is a procedure followed by doctors, of course. Here the doctors, they use a camera to look into the large intestine or the colon of a person, of course, who is suffering from a particular disease. Okay. Now think of the word, of course, simple word that you can associate. You can associate very simple words. You can associate the word doctor, hospital, patient, bowel, etc. Okay, so this is simple word association. Mnemonic word association, let's take one more example. There is a lovely word, airy state. Since I have learned botany, so I know the meaning of the word botany. There are certain plants, where the apex of the plant, is almost like the leaves, you can say, or the apex of the leaves is almost like a beard. The meaning of this word actually is bearded. Okay. Now visualize a person who had beard. Okay, and relate that person. And whenever you see that person, just think of this particular word. What word? Airy state, of course. And definitely you will easily find out the meaning. You have certain leaf which has bristles, when you touch the surface, it is not smooth. Like when you touch the chin of a bearded man, it is not smooth. It is bristled. Okay. So here you can say the shaft is, the apex is, a kind of bearded, and the surface is bristled. Okay. And of course, I can think of one person here, only one person, many persons, many people, of course, keep beard. Let me think of one person, one famous personality who always had beard, Aristotle. Aristotle, of course. If you are learning about reasoning, of course, Arastu, in Hindi we call him Arastu. In English, his name is Aristotle. English people call him Aristotle. Okay. You can say he was a master of reasoning. He was a master of reasoning. Right? Aristotle. You can visualize his face. Or you can visualize the face of a person who always keeps a beard. And you can arrive to the meaning of this particular word. If an option bristle is given there, or bearded is either bristled or bearded won't be given together, right? Bearded would be given there. So definitely the answer would be bearded. Or if bearded is not given there, then bristled would be the answer. Clear? So these things, what did we learn till now? We learned what books we should like. What books should be recommended to you by the teachers, or what are the books that you should go through to improve your vocabulary. I took the name of Brush Up Your English for basic vocabulary. Then of course I talked about English is Easy for contextual vocabulary. Then I took the name of course, the guru of all, Word Power Made Easy by Norman Lewis. Then of course, Sunday Times. If you're not buying newspaper every day, if you're a beginner, start with Sunday Time because it is very, very colorful, right? Then gradually you can move to the sports column, take baby steps. Otherwise, it would become very, very boring. And don't mug up word meaning because words are dead. Unless you use them in a sentence, they would remain dead. And you will forget the meaning. Every second day you will sit and you will chant it like a mantra. But still you will forget it. Okay. See, when we are chanting a mantra, do we know the meaning of mantra? Some people, some people they do, but most of us, like people like me, of course, I chant a mantra every day to keep my mind calm and keep myself composed, but I do not know the meaning. Since I do it every day, now it is on the tip of my tongue. Because there is a saying in English, it takes 21 days to make or break a habit. If you're reading Hanuman Chalisa, if you're following Hindu religion, of course, and you're just reading Hanuman Chalisa, on day one you require Hanuman Chalisa itself. You definitely are going to read from it. Maybe 20 days. It depends on the person's, you can say, capacity or the person's ability. For 21 days, you will be definitely requiring that particular Hanuman Chalisa, but after that, it would be there on the tip of your tongue. It is there on the tip of my tongue, but do I know the meaning? Of course, it is simple. So, of course, I can make out the meaning of most of the lines, but not all. Right? Okay. So, then take baby steps, read vocabulary books, read books like English is Easy because contextual examples are given there. Then read Norman Lewis because of course you will come across various root words, suffixes and prefixes which are really going to be very, very helpful to you. Right? Use the words in context. Don't learn the meaning only because English words can have more than one meanings. So try to use the words in different sentences, right? Then I taught you what was practice word association. Then I gave you example of simple word association through colonoscopy. When you talk about colonoscopy, of course, many words come to your mind, of course. Definitely it would be done in a hospital, and of course a doctor would do, a nurse also can give him some help, right? Doctor, nurse, hospital, patient, and of course since it includes your stomach, bowel and belly, of course, intestine, various words of course related to this colon. Clear? And mnemonic, M is silent here. Mnemonic, one word, of course. One word that helps you remember the meaning or a rule, you can say, because you can visualize it. It is an aid given to you by God. You're gifted with this particular thing. So make the most of it. You know, when I was in class 12, there was a chapter and it was about Romans. The Roman Empire, when it was at its peak, okay, you know, they had parties. The kings and the queens, they had parties, and the parties went on. They threw parties, of course, and they went on for days and days. They ate and danced. They ate so much, had wines, did all kinds of things. All kind of things that cannot be mentioned here, of course, but still they ate a lot. And when they were full up, what they did was they took some medicines to vomit, to make their stomach empty, so that they can eat more. And there I came across the word glutton. So when I see a person who is very lean and thin, and who I think that has the capacity of having only 2 chapatis, and he goes for 8 chapatis, the word glutton comes to my mind. Oh, he's a glutton. He eats each and every dish in a marriage ceremony or in a party. Sometimes people are very picky. I don't like certain thing, I won't have it. Being a foodie doesn't mean that you have to praise each and everything. If you don't like certain thing, of course, it's your choice. Don't go for it. Okay? Clear? Now let's come to root word examples. Cron. This is a root word. This is a root word. Whenever you come across this root word, of course, it has something to do with time. For example, chronological. Suppose I give you the names of 4 of the Mughal kings, 4 of the Mughal emperors like Babur, Humayun, and this one Jahangir and Shah Jahan and Aurangzeb. And I ask you to arrange their names in chronological order, of course. Of course, the time period when, of course, they ruled the empire, of course. So chronological means it. Then the second word, I would be taking example of 2 or 3 words, not more than that. Chronic. If I say he is a chronic patient of constipation, he is a chronic patient of constipation, that does not mean that his constipation is fatal. That means for a very, very long time he has been suffering from this particular problem, of course, and definitely it is not fatal for him. It's not going to kill him. So if a disease is chronic, it is not necessary that it is fatal. You would have that particular disease, of course, for a very, very long duration, because it has to do with time here. Okay? And of course, chronicles. Here they are records of historical events. Right, see, chron is common in all the three words, and all the three words had something to do with time, right? And usually I have seen whenever I give chronic in test papers, the students, they go for the option fatal. They go for the option fatal. I don't know why. They go for the option fatal. Chronic diseases are not fatal. You have had that particular disease for a very, very long time. It definitely is not going to kill you. Okay? Next is macro and mega. Macroscopic is something which is so huge or so big that is visible to the eyes. Because it is large and big. Something that is visible to the naked eyes. Visible, I would say, to the naked eyes. You do not need any kind of instrument to see it. It is visible to the naked eyes because it is so big. Okay. Then another word is macrophone. You must have seen loudspeakers or amplifiers. They do what? They are so big. They actually, hear big. Think it in a very abstract manner. They make the sound what? Not low. They make it, the intensity of the sound, bigger or higher, you can say. Right? Next word is what? Megalith. It means a large stone. See, mega, large. Meaning is large stone. Micro, very simple. You know the meaning of the word microscope. It is an instrument for, of course, to look at something which is not visible to the naked eyes. It is so small. Okay. Then you have microscope. Then you have microbes. They are small organisms. So like mega, opposite is what? Micro. Okay. Then morph is form. Morph is form or structure, you can say. Study of structure or form of anything, any plant, anything. Morphology. You must be aware of the word metamorphosis. Morphosis. Meta is change. Okay? Change in forms. Clear? Poly means many, like the verses. I'll be sharing only one example with you, or I can give you examples, more examples if I feel like. Okay. One is polyandry. There was a time in India itself, and in some countries of the world where women were officially allowed to have more than one husband. That was what? Polyandry. Okay. Then you have geometry students, they know what a polygon is. Okay. Having what? Having many or varied, you can say, straight lines. A plane having varied straight lines, many straight lines. Okay. That is a polygon. Then of course mathematics students, of course, they know about polynomials or polynomials. Yes. Pan means all. Pandemic. It did not spare anyone. Pandemic, it did not spare anyone. It, of course, affected everyone. So, pandemic. Okay. Panorama. Panorama. Including the views of all. That is panorama. Clear? Now these words were there. Let's come to the next one. Meter is to measure. Meter is to measure. I guess it is voltmeter. It is an instrument used to measure what? Measure the voltage. Then you have altimeter. It is an instrument which is used to measure the altitude. Altitude, right? Neo is new, like neophyte. Neophyte is not a professional. He is a beginner. A beginner is a neophyte, right? Then ander is man. Wherever, like I told you, polyandry. Okay, ander is man, gyn is woman. Of course, a woman goes to if she has problems, some problem related to her, like private parts or some other problems are there. She goes to whom? Not a normal doctor, not a general practitioner. She goes to a gynecologist. She goes to a gynecologist. So, gyn means women. So, gynecologist is a person who treats women's, of course, a women's illness or a women's disorders. Of course, physical problems. Clear? Next is pyre. Pyre is fire. Everyone started crying when his body was kept on the pyre. Wood, in Hindus we do that. We burn the dead bodies. Okay. So, pyre is to do with, of course, chita. In Hindi we say chita. Okay. And there is a person who is mad, who is known as pyromaniac. Set things to fire. so many different types of, we live in a mad world. This person actually gains the pleasure out of it. A kind of madness. It is a kind of madness, not phobia. It is a madness, kind of craziness. He gains pleasure out of it by setting things on fire. He is what? He is pyromaniac. Clear? Okay. Then astro is star. Astrology. The study of stars, sun, moon, planets. Okay, astrology. Then you have astrologers who do this kind of study. Then you have astrophysics also, various things. And there is one mark also, star mark. It is known as asterisk. Star marks, you must have seen it in WhatsApp also, in your WhatsApp symbols. A star mark, it is known as asterisk, like it is something like this. Aster, it has to do with star. Okay? Astrology, astronomer, then astrology. Pet is child. Pet is child. If a child gets sick, you go to a doctor who treats children. So, a doctor who treats children is a pediatrician. So, wherever you come across this word ped, it is child. There is one more, pedodontist. A person, of course, who deals with the dental problem of children is known as pedodontist. Okay. Then soma is body. Soma type means body type. Okay. Then psyche or psyche, it is known as actually psyche. It is your mental ability, something to do with your mindset. Psychosomatic, if a person is suffering from a disorder which is psychosomatic, it is a physical disorder, but it has been induced by what? Your brain. So a physical disorder which has been induced mentally. Fine? Is it okay? See, this one is very simple and I already mentioned it. That is why I am not giving you more examples, because wherever you come across and or andre, definitely it has to do with man or men. Wherever it is gyn or gyn, it has to do with women. Like gynecologist. Always remember gynecologist. Okay? Ideologies, I would not write. Ideologies. One's belief is one's ideologies. So ideo is idea. Okay. Then GAM, this is interesting. It is marriage. Okay. When one has more than one marriage, he is polygamous and he is enjoying what? He is enjoying polygamy. If he has 2 marriages, he is enjoying what? Bigamy. So gamy means coming together. Coming together. Of course, in marriage. Right? Theo. Very nice word. Theo means God. Theo means God. Now see, I'll give you lots and lots of word. One is atheist. One is theist. One is theology. One is theocracy. Cracy means rulership. When I'll be teaching you, maybe we'll come across crazy somewhere here or in the second video, because vocabulary is so vast that we have to make actually 2 videos on vocabulary. So this is the first part actually. In second part again we are going to deal with more root words, and of course in that part we are I'm going to mention prefixes also. A list of prefixes will also be there, and as well as I will be mentioning suffixes, followed by of course a practice exercise. Right? Onym means name. Let me discuss these words first. A means negative. So a theist is what? Wherever this is a prefix actually. Okay? It makes the words negative. Without, it means without. One who does not believe in God is a theist. Theist is the one who believes in God. The study of gods or goddesses or religion for that matter is theology. Or where a particular place where the rulership is by a god. There of course what is being practiced? Theocracy is being practiced. Clear? Okay. Onym. Nym clear. Nym makes the word very much clear. Nym makes name, of course. Like synonym. Having the same meaning. Antonym. Having the different meaning. Okay. So wherever you come across onym or nym for that matter, in some cases you will find only nym, in some cases you are going to find onym. It has to do with name. Right? Let us come to pathos or path. Not pathos, path. It means feeling. 2 types. The world is ruled by 2 types of people. One type is who show sympathy, and the other type is one who show empathy. One type One type shows one type of group shows sympathy, when you show compassion, towards others' pain, compassion towards others' pain or trauma which he is undergoing, then you are sympathetic towards him. Okay? And empathy, there is slight nuance, slight difference in the meaning of these two words again. But again, there is huge, the difference is slight, but again, you should know the difference in the meaning of these two words. Empathy. When you yourself feel the pain of the other person who is going through it, okay, then you what? Then you're being what? You're being empathetic, and you're showing what? You're showing empathy. Here simply you're going to pat his shoulder and say, "Buck up," these kind of things, they happen. You're showing your compassion, of course. You're not being rude. But here, of course, you have gone through such things. You feel the pain of that particular person, what he is going through right now. Here you are not being sympathetic, you are being empathetic. Is it clear? Okay, let's come to biblio or biblio. I'll start with Bible. I don't want to debate on it, but Bible is a book. No, who wrote Bible, nobody knows. It is a compilation of, you can say, sermons and compilations of various stories, of course, that happen, and somebody compiled it. Who compiled it? Nobody knows, of course. And of course, Bible is what? Bible is a book. Of course, the Christians, they follow it, their religious book. Then there is a person who is bibliophile. See, Phil is a lover. There is another root. Maybe it is here or in another video. I don't know. In the second video. Phil means love. Wherever you come across the root word Phil, it means love. Right? If it is here, then I'll give you example. Also, bibliophile. Now tell me the meaning of the word bibliophile. Is this person hater of books? No. This person is a lover of books. Clear? Soph. Soph is wisdom. Or I would say, rather say, philosopher, let's say. Philosophy, of course, it is a study where, of course, you show your love towards something which is wise. Something which is wise, or something which is full of wisdom. Right? Philosophy. Philosopher is a lover of wisdom. Then you have sophisticated. Sophisticated. Generally, people think that only, human beings are sophisticated. No, my dear, even weapons are sophisticated. Country, you must have seen we call it in UPs and northern part of India, we call it, there is a country, pistol, we call it katta, right? And it is a country pistol. It is not sophisticated, you cannot never trust on it, because some there are times it can backfire, like it can explode. Even you yourself can get killed by it. When you're out to kill somebody else, you yourself can get killed by it. Sophisticated is something, of course, the weapons are wise in what ways? Because they are urbane. Okay? Modern, classy. Of course, classy things are supposed to have wisdom. So even weapons are sophisticated. Missiles are sophisticated. Okay, not only person. Miss, again a nice word. Miss is a negative word. It has to do with hatred. Like mesogamist. We learned gamy already, marriage. So a mesogamist would love marriage, the idea of marriage, or hate the idea of marriage. A person who hates the idea of marriage. Okay, then misanthrope. Anthrop means mankind or human race. So a person who hates human race, hater of mankind. Is a misanthrope. Clear? So we discuss ideo, we discuss gam, we discuss theo. Theo is very important. This, my dear, is very, very important. This is important as well. This is equally important. Everything is important. Because I have chosen only those root words which have been asked in the examination, in a repeated mode for the last 4, 5, 6 years maybe. I've gone through various sample test papers and I have chosen those particular, roots, not all, because there are n number of root words. Anthropos, mankind. I'll write only one example. I'll say at the time of COVID, we came to know that, what's the name of that actor? Sonu Sood. He really helped a lot of people. Really, he spent a lot of money. And he provided a lot of aid to the people, and he made them reach their own hometowns or village, and he gave, you can say, provided food. Different NGOs also, different, you can say, people like Ratan Tata, the Tata Group really donated a huge amount of money to the PM Relief Fund. So these kind of people, they are philanthropists. Let's remember one thing, what I told you earlier. The bigger the word, the easier it is. The smaller the word, the toughest it is to find the meaning, because you can break the words. Phil means love. Anthrop means mankind. So a lover of mankind is what? Philanthropist. It is generally written about social, when you are writing, about paying tribute to social workers and all, you usually come across, if you read an article on them, you will definitely are going to come across this particular word. Mark my word, philanthropist. If you read biography of Ratan Tata or an article on Ratan Tata somewhere, or not Ratan Tata, let's take the name of your favorite, Salman Khan, maybe he's also a philanthropist, he does a lot. Okay, but he does that, he's doing a good work also, some good work also. Okay, Phil, like I told you earlier, maybe I have taken it here in this particular slide. Lots of words are there, my goodness. I will take my favorite. Okay. So many words are there. Philanderer. Philanderer is a person, it's not my favorite, mind you, is a person who's a flirt. Philanderer is a person who's flirt. He does not stick on one person. He keeps on changing from one person to another person to another person to another person. Okay, he's a flirt. Philanderer. Then you have philatelist. Philatelist. Now, who would collect stamps? Earlier, the people, they used to have one particular hobby in our days when we were young. In the time when people used to write letters. Now people mail. They send mails, or they simply send a text. But even now I love, envelopes. I love letters. Because there is something very special about it. Okay, so I remember people who collected stamps, not only Indian stamps. If they got letters from some other nations, they collected that particular stamp coming from that country, of that particular country. So a person who collects stamps. Why he collects stamps? Because he loves it. Right? And earlier I mentioned the word philosophy. You know the word philosophy. I mentioned the word philanthropist. You know the word philanthropist. So wherever you will come across the word phil, definitely it has something to do with love. Clear? Logy is study. It can be any kind of, like biology. Bio means life. So wherever logy is there, it is study of something, one or the other thing. Okay. Psyche. It is not psyche. It is psyche is mind or spirit. Take the example of here. Interest. Never call people who suffer from mental disorders, because brain is also a part of your body. If any other organ can suffer from any problem, your brain can also suffer from any problem. And who will give you medicines for it? Who will give you medicines for it? Of course, who writes the medicine is a psychiatrist. The person is a psychiatrist. Right? Okay. Then arche. monarchy. Let me correct it. Monarchy is ruled by, not ruled by. It should be ruled by. Okay? Monarchy is ruled by. Like in England, we have monarchy. In India, we have democracy. Okay? But in England and so many other countries, the head of the state or the head of the country is not the president, but the king or the queen. Now in England, it is the king because the queen has gone. Queen is no more. Okay? So now it is Prince Charles. Now he is king. He is the king there. He is the head of the state. Just like in India, the head of the state is the president. Okay, in US, the head of the state is the president. Here, of course, democracy is there, but the head of the state is, who is the head of the state in England? It is the king or the queen. Now it is the king, of course. And various other European nations, there is monarchy. Right? Monarchy is rulership or ruled by. It is not ruled by, it is ruled by. CEED, spelling is same. CEED, and CES. Movement. When you proceed, you move in the forward direction. When you precede, then you move in the backward direction. Maybe mentally, right? Backward direction. And of course, when you move forward in life, then what you get is success. When you move forward in life, then what you get is success. So these are the few examples. Scribe. I know you know this word because you always, when we got bored in the class, either we doodled or we scribbled. We scribbled something. That means we wrote something. It means to write. What does a doctor do? It's very hard to, read the handwriting of doctors. Only the chemists can understand their handwritings. I've seen I've seen few doctors having good handwritings. I don't know why. It is synonymous. Having bad handwriting has become synonymous with doctors. Oh, doctor, then he must, definitely his handwriting is not good, you would say. Okay, so scribe is to write like prescription. A doctor writes you prescription where he mentions the medicines, how to take the medicines twice or thrice. He makes certain structures also. Okay, writes BD, things like that. Okay, twice a day, thrice a day, once a day in the morning, things like that. So scribe is to write. This is a lovely word. Breve. Breve means short. Breve, and you know this word, I know that. Think hard. You already know this word. BBC is the abbreviation of Abbreviation of British Broadcasting Company, right? So breve means short. So whenever you come across the root word breve, it has something to do with short. Like he's a very reserved person. He doesn't talk much. He's known for brevity of speech. Brevity of speech. So brevity, of course, if a person is having brevity, of course, he is very reserved. He doesn't speak much. And in other way, if I say if a person is, in other words, if I say if a person is breviloquent, breviloquent, I don't know whether I've covered lock in this particular video or the next video, maybe in this video, I'm not sure. We'll find it out later. Brev means short. Lock has always to do with speak or speech. So one who doesn't speak a lot, one who is reticent, doesn't speak much, is not loquacious, is not talkative, is what? That person is breviloquent. Clear? Okay. Now today's exercise is based on, always read the option very carefully because you are not going to find the direct synonym of a given word. Okay. Choose the option, look at the word closest. Look, okay, at the word, see, closest. We are using closest here. Choose the option closest in the meaning to the word given, which is closest to the meaning to the word which is given, of course, in bold here. That means it should have the essence. If it is not a direct synonym, it should have the essence of this particular word. Okay. It should be closer as far as meaning is concerned, because we are looking for synonym here. Low-key. Well, they did not do a lot in the marriage. It was a very low-key affair. Low-key affair. Official? No. Secret? No. Complicated? No. But certainly it was subdued because it was not loud and bright. They did not invite a lot of people. They did not have a DJ. Okay. They did not have lots and lots of dishes there. Of course, it was a very low-key affair. Few people were invited, but everything was very nicely done. Okay. So these kind of events, are organized, they are low-key. They are described as low-key. Then stipulation. Stipulation means requirement. Now what are the stipulation? Of course, you people have decided for organizing this conference. If I give you this sentence, it means imitation. No. It means signal? No. Does it mean excitement? No. It means requirement. I learned this word through a context. Context, learning it through a context made it easier for me to, of course, to find out the meaning. Antithesis. Anti itself means opposite. So the meaning, of course, you don't have to do a lot of things. It means direct opposite. Okay. Entrenched. You must be aware of the trenches that the soldiers, they dig. They dig the trenches to do what? Of course, to save themselves from an attack. Because they hide in the trenches. So, is it filled up? No. Is it followed by? No. Is it kept down? No. We have a root here, fort. Fort. Why were the forts built? Of course, forts were built. They saved themselves, as well as if they wanted to attack, of course, not directly, maybe in indirect manner, using their bow and arrow. And of course, in the olden days, past, you can say yesteryears, they, of course, the word, of course, would be they built up forts for that. The word is fortified. Next is lot. Now, lot does not always mean many. Lot have n numbers of meanings. And one of the meaning of lot is fate. One of the meanings of lot is fate. Next word is apprehension. I was apprehended what would happen. There is going to be a third wave of COVID, you know, what would happen? What would happen? Let's start taking steam. Let's start taking all the precaution from now onwards. Okay, apprehension. Are you showing your gratitude while doing so? No. Are you being apologetic? No. Is it a kind of punishment? No, it is a kind of fear. Dread. Clear? Next word, amenable. A person who is amenable, is he religious? No. Is he masculine? No. Is he proud? No, but he agrees. Usually it is used for a person who is friendly by nature. He agrees. He is friendly. Okay. Affluent, a root is hidden over here. Flew, you know. In olden time, of course, it is not a Latin origin, it is a Greek origin. Yes, flew. The Greeks, they thought when they had fever, you know, their bad stars, they emitted some kind of energy, and that they were hit by that energy and they had fever, and they call that particular fever, the energy flew from that particular bad star. Okay, flew from that, flowed from that particular bad star, and of course it hit them and they suffered from flu, which is the short form of influenza. Flow. So if something flows, is it scarce? Is it scarce in amount? No. It is huge in amount. It is ample in amount. So if you belong to an affluent family, are you poor or are you rich? You are wealthy. Clear? Next, counterpart. Very simple. Who completes you? Counterpart is someone or something that completes you. So complete is hidden in this word. There are two words. One is compliment, that is PLI. Okay? That is to praise someone. That you use to praise someone. This is complimentary. That is something that completes. So counterpart is someone or something that completes. Clear? Now let's come to another word, superficial. Superficial, of course, if you're talking, I feel very bad for you, and after that you start laughing behind my backs. Of course, your feelings, whatever feelings you showed me, was nothing very real. It was what? It was shallow. It was shallow. I'll write the answer here. It was shallow. Okay. Now, if you are disparaging someone, definitely you don't like that person. You don't like that person. Okay. And we have discussed this word also while we were doing tones. If you're disparaging someone, you don't like that person, you have a particular disdain towards that person, dislike towards that person, and when you have this showing your disparaging attitude towards that person, then you are belittling him. That means you are humiliating him. You are humiliating him. To belittle means to humiliate a person. Okay. Next is protagonist. Who is the protagonist of Mr. India? It is Anil Kapoor. So that would give you leading character, right? Then you have ludicrous. Father, you should go for this business. I'm telling you, you should go for this business. It will really, you can make loads and loads of money out of it, because this business is very ludicrous. Ludicrous is something which is very profitable. Clear? Next is interpret. Interpret is something that is I guess it is fearless. Yes, interpret is someone who is fearless. Sage, sadhu, mahatma, आप जानते हैं, sage, we call them sages. Sage is a wise man. So a sagacious person definitely is wise. Okay. Then you have admonish. When you admonish someone, you are warning him. You are warning him that don't do this, this might happen to you. Okay. Admonish. Beset. Beset is to attack. Assail means to attack. Assailant, the word assailant has come from assail itself. Assail means to attack. Beset is also attack. Figment. Figment is something which is not true at all, which is you already have produced it here. Okay. You have invented it here in your brain. It is not real. There is nothing true about it. Okay. So figment is invention, or you can say production. That happens here only, but it is not in reality. Nothing like that is present there. Okay. Glib. A person who is glib, is he dull? No. Is he thin? No. Is he weak? No. The person who is glib is fluent. And my dear, these were basic vocabulary. These words, I have taken this exercise, keeping it in mind, that I will give this exercise to the students, because these words must be a part of your basic vocabulary or your functional vocabulary. That means it should be there on the tip of your tongue. So today what we learned lots and lots of things. We learned about vocabulary book. We learned how to, of course, read books not from your of your favorite genre. We learned about you can say what is mnemonic style of learning words. We learn how to learn words through various contexts. Okay, how to learn words through various contexts. We learn how many types of vocabulary are there: reading, writing and speaking. And if you're preparing for competitive examination, and I told you speaking vocabulary should be your functional vocabulary. That means it should be there on the tip of your tongue. You shouldn't be thinking hard to find out the meaning of those words. You should be using it, while talking to someone. Right? So this is what I covered today, and there is another video, part 2, which we are going to cover lots of roots and other roots, the remaining roots which are important, prefixes, suffixes, and one exercise on antonyms maybe. Okay, so thank you very much. See you later.